When I initially started this video, it was going to be about how baffled I was how the game Mega Man 11 considered good by Mega Man fans worldwide. I'm a huge Mega Man fan. I played just about every Mega Man game that's come out, from the classic series to ZX. The first game I remember playing was Mega Man 7 on the SNES. I loved controlling this little, blue robot that just liked blowing up bad guys and, fighting the cool robot masters. I actually owned Mega Man 1 as a kid, but I honestly don't remember my time with it. Though throughout my years, I have found myself buying random collections that would come out hosting all the Mega Man games that might have existed at the time. The big one being the Mega Man Anniversary Collection. I played the hell out of this title. What was cool was that you could play Mega Man: The Power Battle and Mega Man 2: The Power Fighters. I physically own all of the physical releases of the classic games, and I have my own shrine dedicated to the Mega Man franchise in my office. So, in 2017, when Capcom announced Mega Man 11, I was so hyped. Like, this is Mega Man's first release since 1997 when Mega Man 8 came out. I know they made 9 and 10, but those were throwbacks to the classic 8-bit era. This was Capcom bringing Mega Man into the 2010s. I was ready for it. I wanted to inject that shit directly into my frontal lobe. It's 2018. The game comes out. I have my copy pre-ordered on Amazon. I wanted a special edition, but sadly, it was impossible to get. So I resigned myself for a standard copy on the Switch. This was my first mistake. Why, you ask? Well, let me get into some Switch-specific issues I had, and that would mainly be the controls. I'm sorry, but I've noticed it a lot with non-major Nintendo titles, but the Joy-Con controls just aren't that good for 2D games. I don't know what exactly it is, but if I had to put my finger on it, it's just that the controller isn't made for smooth and accurate platforming in a 2D environment. I find myself having the most extreme difficulty making any jump that would involve a tight space. In the demo, there's this four-wheeled boss on Blockman stage called Totemir. Oh, because he's like a totem pole. I thought it was just a stack of wheels. Anyway, Mr. Wheels here was damn near impossible to fight and not take damage. I, for the life of me, just couldn't understand who playtested this. Well, when I switched to playing on the PC, this issue with the controls magically went away. Again, I'm not sure what exactly the problem with the Joy-Cons versus any other controller is, but let's just say this drastically changed my opinion on the game. So, I sat down, played through it, and decided to reevaluate my opinion on this title. So, what do I think of this game in 2022? It's alright. Like, if you don't care about anything other than the gameplay, it's a pretty solid game. Blowing up robot masters feels fun and powerful. The art looks visually great. All the characters got modern updates, so Mega Man looks new while still giving off the same presentation we've come to know. I'd say they made him look older while still remaining a kid. Think like going from 10 to 15 years old. Visually, he still looks younger than X's design. Roll basically got the same treatment. Everybody else looks somewhat the same. I'd say they toned down Dr. Wily's look from 8, going from full-blown supervillain back down to angry scientist. The levels are serviceable. The music is absolute trash. Maybe I'm just being hyperbolic, but compared to really every Mega Man game ever, this music is so generic and repetitive. Everything sounds the exact same. Nothing really stood out to me. However, as luck would have it, there was DLC for the PC that let me switch over to the instrumental tracks, which were a breath of fresh air because I was going insane listening to all those doots and deets. It sucks so bad. So, why do I feel like something's still wrong with this game? Honestly, it's because the game really didn't do anything drastic to advance the series. Like, everything is so mid, it kind of shocks me for this to be the Blue Bomber's big return. No cool animated cutscenes, no open world environments to explore like we've seen in Zero and ZX games. A lot of outdated game mechanics. Let me go into it a bit for more detail on each of these. So something that made a lot of the later Mega Man titles cool would be their animated cutscenes. They may have had some bad voice acting, yes, but it looked like something you would see on a Saturday morning cartoon. I remember the remake of X1, Mega Man X Maverick Hunter, had like this 40-minute long video. It was called The Day of Sigma, where basically you get the entire lead up to the start of the first game. It's pretty cool. Mega Man 8 starts with a cool fight scene between Mega Man and Bass.
Hey, Bass!
The voice acting is terrible, but you kind of didn't care because it was just cool to see the animated fight. Mega Man 11 decides to go with still images to retell a story in the past about how the scientific community agrees with Dr. Light that Dr. Wily's double gear system is dangerous, and they all love Dr. Light's idea for giving robots independent thought. This is then followed by a cutscene using in-game animations to show a kind of mid-cutscene of Wily easily breaking into Light's lab and stealing 8 robots that were there for a checkup. Like, it's super whatever. It has no more depth than the first game story that was basically a short paragraph you read inside the game manual. Which, let me address the story. It's a fucking letdown. Mega Man has some of the richest lore in any game franchise. The problem is none of the games ever address it directly. Example, the jump from Mega Man Classic to Mega Man X involves the robots going from obeying the laws of robotics to having true independent thought and decisions. Mega Man and all his friends were robots. So they don't die of old age. So what happened to them? Why are they not in the X series? Is Wily still alive? And one of these 3 characters? Like, there's so much cool shit you could tackle that's in the classic games to explain things that happen later on down the timeline. But almost none of the games really do anything with this. It's so bizarre. This game just has Wily remember some old one-off tech and then lose. The end. Why not spend time giving fans a good story? Even 8 tried to go a little deeper by introducing evil energy into the world, which has its own lore implications, but it's just never really addressed again in later games. Hell, Capcom, in their own timeline document, pretty much says that Robo-Enza is the origin source of the virus he puts in Zero. Okay, now, it doesn't say that directly. I mean, it says Robot Virus Project, but fans are so desperate for any meaningful lore. I mean, how can the two not be related? My point is, the game had no effort put into the story, and it's fucking sad. So, they bring back the 8 stages plus the Wily stages, but they don't evolve that format in any way. Mega Man Zero was, I believe, the first major attempt to take the Mega Man formula and give it a fresh take in an open world style. In the Zero games, you could walk to almost every boss stage from the starting point. You could explore and sometimes find random items. There were small missions that had you go back to old levels, so the levels never really felt like they were just arbitrary places. Plus, let's say you go to a boss fight and you lose all your lives in the mission. You could fail the mission, not get the boss's power drop, and just continue the story. It was kind of experimental for what it wanted to do. The ZX titles kind of run with this again, but have a more open world with missions and side missions you find and do by exploring the world. It's a lot more streamlined with how a lot of the open world platformers are nowadays. Mega Man 11 doesn't try any of this. You just go in, you beat the stage, that's it. And what makes this super archaic is the use of a live system. So you start a level with 2 lives, meaning you can get 3 tries at a stage, unless you find more lives, which the live cap is at 9. So let's say you've played the stage, you lose 2 lives, but you beat the boss on your 3rd try. You will start the next stage with 0 lives, unless you spend money at Dr. Light's lab for more lives. Which is stupid, because you can just kill Mega Man as soon as you enter the stage, and just try again, but start the level with 2 lives. So, unless you have more than 2 lives, there is no reason not to just have Mega Man die 1 or 2 times to get your full life count back. It's just a super archaic system that should have been replaced with checkpoints. The game didn't go out of its way to give Mega Man any new ways of movement that would open up the level more or advance the platforming. The dash and wall cling in X really took platforming to a new level. That made just about any type of stage fun to explore in the X series. Without wall cling and dash, you're left with the classic game's linear level design, which is crazy to me. 11 doesn't do anything to make these stages more than one and done. Here's some of the music. I actually forgot to write this part in the script here, but like, I'm just gonna play some of the songs here, and like, you can just hear how none of these really sound all that different. Like, all of it really kind of runs together for 11. This game doesn't do anything to advance the series at all. I made a video a few years back that explained how locking gameplay mechanics behind the game series was a stupid idea. You can look to how fun wall clinging and dashing were for the X series, that they went ahead and put it in just about every 2D Mega Man platformer since. Zero, ZX, all use this mechanic. But anytime they go back to the classic games, they have this strong desire to rehash old, outdated gameplay mechanics. It's 2023 now, and rumor has it that Mega Man 12 is in the works. If so, Capcom will really need to rethink its plans for how Mega Man games need to be structured, and hopefully bring the series into the modern era. Hey everyone, this is the end slate for my video. I hope you enjoyed this fun little video. If you do, like and subscribe. Definitely would appreciate it. It's coming. It's now 2023. I was working on this video in 2022. But I really want to put my heart back out there with this kind of stuff. I feel like I have a lot of anxiety sometimes when I make these videos. And I end up through my own self-consciousness and, lack of confidence in my abilities, tend not to finish a lot of the videos I start. But I'm going to try and change things moving forward. Maybe you'll see a video a month from me. Maybe 2 videos a month. Just however long I can get it done. But, yeah, just please stay tuned. I've got more to come. But yeah, I think that's it. So till next time, I'm Eddie, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.